residents who are uninformed, okay?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other parts of this are residents who are not particularly concerned about damage to the truck or to the crew, to the cans.
Be concerned when the water bill goes up, because the garbage weight goes up, because you have to replace a garbage truck.
Yes, yes, and part of this education program should include that we've had the new garbage truck now for about 7 years, right?
Yep,
And
it's-
that's generally the useful life of the garbage truck. Credit to the crew for keeping it all running. Yes, Nate?
Do you think, I guess, Eric, do you think that since the county has shut down the canisters, the people are like, I'm doing my garbage today and I'm putting it right here?
I think we're
I
starting.
don't blame the county, I'm just saying, they got no place to take it.
I think we're in the beginning growing pains of that, yes.
What can, nothing we can do. We can't lock up ours, right? Then where
Well-
they people put their garbage.
Just considered brainstorming. Eric?
So there is a solution. The solution would be to give every resident their own 90 garbage can, and then they control their can. You know, they'd have to roll it out and then roll it back. It would be catastrophic as far as time and efficiency of picking it up, but that's the only solution that I know of knowing, at least in the residential part, of what's in the cans, you know, so, yeah.
How many cans would we need to purchase to accomplish that?
I'd have to do research. I don't know.
At least, I'm going to see over 800.
Yeah.
There are that many bills that go out in a
Right,
month.
yeah, that's what I'm just.
And we have multifamily units too.
Good point, yes.
And, well, speaking from my own experience as a business owner, I can't use a 90 can. You couldn't, if you came twice a day, I'd be filling it up. So now we're talking about figuring out how to lock down the lid on the bigger cans so that people don't start circumventing their new cans,
We'll probably just set it next to it,
or they might.
Well,
This is,
just because I don't want it, so here you go.
that in terms of the educational process, the threat of, look at how expensive this is going to be if we have to solve it this way. Is a
Yes,
pretty good
that's
threat.
part of it too. Let's see, Angie, you were on council at the time the city purchased the new truck.
Yes.
Right. And financing it, I would just say not enough cash reserves had accumulated in the garbage fund. And so the city was in a position of having to borrow money and just hadn't gotten around to that. And that is, that is when I suggested that perhaps one of the other enterprise funds that maybe had some cash available could borrow internally. And so the city did that and then was able to pay back that internal loan faster than we thought. But still, that's not a good permanent financing technique to use, because what happens if one of those other funds, we're talking water or sewer, all of a sudden needs major repairs. So anyway, yes, the cost of a truck and the downtime of an injured employee plus the workers' comp rates going up for them. It's like any insurance, when you make a claim, the company is going to recoup that payout. Not necessarily right away, but it will bring the money back in. So anyway, that's probably enough about garbage right now. I will move to public comment. Is there any public comment right now? You haven't been given any marching orders there? Okay.
I did the order.
Okay, all right. Thank you for attending tonight. Carrie, do you have anything tonight? Okay. Let the record show she shook her head no. Eric?
I just have two things, because you stole my thunder on the third. first thing is, the pool is in the process of being drained, shut down for the year. I think we had a very successful year with that. There are some items that we're gonna have to look at maybe purchasing for next year. We'll need to look at purchasing new pool blankets, the one tore. We're gonna maybe need to look at rebuilding our pump. When I was towards the end of the season, it was very warm. Don't necessarily know what's going on there, but I mean, it was still working. So next spring, we'll just see how it looks. I also tried extremely hard for the good lifeguards that we really enjoyed in recruiting them to come back. They were all, it seemed extremely positive in doing so, so I'm really hoping we can get them back. And TJ was actually very excited about being able to come back as well. So hopefully, our pool process next year will be, extremely more positive. Actually gonna have the possibility maybe of one of the lifeguards looked at, I asked if he'd have any interest in being, an assistant pool manager. Was there, worked his butt off every day, and that way maybe we could relieve Tommy Joe with some hours, so. Just trying to do some brainstorming to make things a little better, and by next year, he'll be 18, so. Just, maybe a unique possibility so that we can keep our pool managers in a cycle going forward. Not that I wanna get rid of Tommy Joe, but, yeah. The other thing I was gonna mention is, not last week, but the week before, we had 3 emergency, digs come up. All on our side had to replace, 3, valves, last week, so, one that we found was an old galvanized line, we had to go all the way to the main. Another one was a faulty valve, and then the other one was a faulty, line. So, anyway, we had gone a long time, but then all of a sudden it bit us all at once in 1 week, so. Anyway, we survived, endured, and carried on, so.
And what
water's
time
still
did one of
flowing.
those calls come in?
The one was Friday at about 3 o'clock. I was never no bummed in all my life. You know, I went over there and saw that puddle after we had done them from Wednesday, Thursday, and I looked at that one Friday and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. But, yeah, it was boiling out of the ground, so I mean, I don't wanna test my old pumps that badly, so I called it emergency locates and we got it done, so.
And that was
Yeah.
a 1:30 in the morning?
No, that was just
Oh, okay.
that was just a
That's-
water turn off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a couple weeks back, I got called out at 1:30 in the morning, people got back from a vacation and the valve in their house failed and filled their basement with water, so. Yeah, oh, that was great,
Well, I'm
1:30
sure
in
they
the
were thrilled to
morning.
be home.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, so, I would just like to add, a comment about how pleased I was with the pool operation this year, because I was not at all happy last year with how that operation transpired. And it seemed like we had, there were maybe, I don't know, just a handful of instances where children were asked to leave the
Mhm.
pool, none of them permanently.
no,
That worked out well. And I would just like to let council know that Rotary has volunteered to do some sprucing up of the picnic tables that are in Heritage Park. And to sand and reseal the posts on the pavilion there. And we'll work with Northwestern Energy to do some cleaning of the metal roof on the pavilion. I said I have volunteers. I've been counseled to don't turn down a volunteer.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are we still replacing, playground equipment Saturday?
That's this Saturday.
yes, we are, we are. The old swings will be tore out tomorrow morning, so, yeah.
Sad, there's kids on them today.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that it's getting done now. I know we thought it would be done by around the end of May. It's getting done, and that's good. Doug, do you have anything tonight?
One thing. So, what you don't know, Mary Alice passed away Saturday.